Hello, everyone. In this lecture, I'm going to discuss the partition of India, causes and consequences, but more focus will be on the consequences of the partition of India. The Muslim League suffered severe blow in the election of 1937. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the leader of Muslim League, started exploiting Muslim sentiment over Muslim identity. There was the Lahore Resolution, Jinnah's two-nation theory in 1940, where Muhammad Ali Jinnah emphasized that there should be a separate country for the Muslims. So here he started his identity politics and started to use religion as a tool for his own ambition. Muhammad Ali Jinnah started putting force. Say, for example, in 1946, there was this Direct Action Day, and it resulted in riots in Calcutta and in eastern Bengal, in places like Noakhali, just to exert force on the British government to give a separate country to the Muslims in India. In 1945 and 1946, Muslim League's election result was much better. In 1940, Jinnah, through the Lahore Resolution, stated his two-nation theory. Jinnah stated, "The Hindus and Muslims belong to two different religious philosophies, social customs, and literatures. They neither intermarry nor interdine together, and indeed they belong to two different civilizations which are based mainly on conflicting ideas and conceptions. Their aspects, or perhaps perspectives on life and of life, are different. It is quite clear that Hindus and Muslims derive their inspiration from different sources of history. They have different epics, their heroes are different, and different episodes. Very often, the hero of one is a foe of the other, and likewise, their victories and defeats overlap. To yoke together two such nations under a single state, one as a numerical minority and the other as a majority, must lead to growing discontent and final destruction of any fabric that may be so built up for the government of such a state. On 24th March 1946, the cabinet mission came from England to discuss the transfer of power from the British government to the Indian leadership. It aimed to retain the unity of India and grant its independence. However, the cabinet mission plan was not approved by both parties, Congress and the Muslim League. Nehru demanded transfer of power from the British government. There were some disagreements between Gandhi and the Muslim leaders. Conflict between Nehru and Jinnah was there. Both leaders were ambitious. Jinnah opposed Mountbatten's plan. On 16th August 1946, the Muslim League declared Direct Action Day that led to bloodshed in Calcutta between Hindus and Muslims. The remarkable unity between the Muslim League and Congress came to an end in the 1940s. In the 1945-46 elections, Muslim League won seats to the Central Assembly. It was a remarkable boost for the Muslim League. It was assumed that Pakistan would include undivided Punjab and Bengal, but it did not materialize in the end. The Muslim League was desperate to achieve Pakistan. It called for a direct action date to be observed on 16th August 1946, and as discussed, it led to communal riots and it led to several thousand deaths of Muslims and Hindus. On 16th August 1946, communal riot broke out in Calcutta, in West Bengal, and there was heavy casualties. The riots soon spread to other regions such as Noakhali, Bihar, United Province, Punjab, and Northwestern Frontier Province. These events eventually led to the partition of India. On 28th May 1947, the last Viceroy of India, Lord Mountbatten, unveiled his partition plan to the Congress and the Muslim League. Lord Mountbatten and Jinnah had conversation on the partition issue. Jinnah was not ready for any compromise. On 3rd June 1947, Mountbatten decreed partition. On 14th August 1947, Pakistan became an independent country, so it came to existence as a separate country. And on 15th August 1947, India became independent from the British rule. So there was disagreement between the Indian National Congress that was founded in 1885, led by Jawaharlal Nehru, and the Muslim League founded on 1906, and it was led by Muhammad Ali Jinnah during the partition of India. Lord Mountbatten was forced to partition India between the Hindus and the Muslims. Thus, when the British entered India, it was a united India, but when they left it, it was a divided India. With regard to the consequences, as I have discussed in other lectures, in the previous lectures, so the consequences included the Kashmir question, which is still unresolved. There was a war between India and Pakistan over the Kashmir question in 1965. Bangladesh Liberation War took place, or Bangladesh War of Independence took place, and finally there was the emergence of Bangladesh in 1971. I have discussed in my previous lectures that there were disparity between East and West Pakistan, and West Pakistan exploited East Pakistan, and there was this economic disparity, there was the cultural disparity, there was educational disparity in every sectors. There was disparity that was in other words, there was West Pakistan's exploitation over the then East Pakistan. In 1952, there was the language movement when Pakistan said that the Pakistani rulers, the West Pakistani rulers, they said that Urdu will be the only official language of Pakistan, and that's where the Bengalis in the then East Pakistan, they had the language movement, and so you can see that from immediately after the partition of India, there have been many factors that led to the independence of Bangladesh. Awami League under its leader Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. They had the 6 points, and it called for greater autonomy for East Pakistan, and it was not granted by the rulers of the then West Pakistan. Finally, there was the general election of Awami League in 1970. The Awami League leader was Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Awami League won 160 seats and Pakistan's People Party got 80 seats. The election results were denied to the Bengalis, or the people of East Pakistan, by the ruling regime of the then West Pakistan. And then the West Pakistani military committed genocide in Bangladesh from 26th March to 16th December 1971. And Bangladesh War of Independence commenced on 26th March 1971. So it is called 26th March, is known as the Independence Day, and finally Bangladesh got its victory from the then West Pakistan, and the victory day is 16th December. So on 16th December, Bangladesh got its victory. India, the Bangladesh's ally, but it was supportive of Bangladesh during the War of Independence, and finally Bangladesh became independent. So we now, the Bangladeshis, the Bengalis, we have our own identity, and we should celebrate the fact that we have an independent, sovereign, democratic country. Thank you.